So the iPhone 8 might cost $1,000? How do I feel about that? Well, first of all, let me just say, feels good to be back. How was Florida? I can tell you. Subscribe to Tailosive Talks. Vlogs are coming up there very soon. But thank you for asking. Lots of people are falling on either side of this debate. It's okay, or is Apple just nabbing as much money as they can? Yes and yes. Well, at least that's what the Apple Shape thinks. There's an increasing problem all tech companies are dealing with, and I want to include not just Apple is going to be increasing the prices of their flagship smartphones. It's already rumored that indeed the Galaxy S8 will also receive a price jump. Why? It's because they're packing so much stuff in one package, it's just so unreasonable to keep prices at the same level, especially when they realize that everyone is going to buy this new product every year no matter what, and more technology into R&D is being developed so that they can have more features like the iris scanner, building fingerprint readers into a display, making sure the bezels are as thin as possible. All these kinds of things are not getting any cheaper to produce, and when they realize that they have a core fan base that's going to buy the new thing no matter what, yeah, it's pretty easy for a tech company to say, you know what, let's just bump up the price. They're gonna buy it, you know, we can't stop them from buying it. In fact, how do you really determine the worth of something? Of course, it varies from person to person, right? Is it worth it to you? And for me personally, a smartphone is something I use more than any other device I have. That's why I think it's actually okay that we pay a little bit more for them now. I don't know how you spend your money, but in terms of what I spend on, it's usually things I get a lot out of. I don't want to spend a ton of money on something I barely notice. A smartphone is something I almost use constantly. I'm using it in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night, listening to music, texting people, taking pictures, and of course every year they're getting better and better at doing those things. So that's why I don't think it's too hard to believe that, yeah, we might have to start putting up some more money for it as we expect them to do more things. Especially with this iPhone 8, as we're expecting wireless charging. Don't really think it's gonna be true wireless charging. I still can't believe that yet, but we are expecting bezel-less or very little bezels, which I guess is important now. No home button, because, you know, when you run out of things to add to your phone, how do you make it different? You start removing things. Headphone jack, lightning, please replace with USB-C. I've heard that's not happening. And now the home button. What's next? The screen? Probably not, but you know, you get the point. And to address all of you people out there that are saying Apple has such a hardcore fan base that they can charge whatever they want and they'll get it, you're right about that. The thing is, I think the really hardcore fans are really getting what they want, and honestly would pay a lot more than $1,000 for the next iPhone. You get people camped outside Apple stores at every single release, you know, likely abandoning certain parts of their jobs and going very much out of their way for days and weeks at a time just to get that new iPhone. Of course they're gonna be able to pay up front for it. And as we saw from Apple's last quarterly results, the iPhone 7 was the top selling iPhone of all time. It's not easy to make 80 million of these things every 3 months. That of course requires more money to give to suppliers. And it's also rumored that Apple's considering building iPhones in America. That won't be cheap. $1,000 would be cheap if iPhones were manufactured in the US. I'd expect far more than that. But I don't want everyone to fret and act like you can't afford a smartphone anymore, because I'm very confident that the rumors saying that Apple's going to release 3 new iPhones this year is true. My prediction is still that they're going to have the 7S, which is going to be the basic. It'll look like the iPhone 7, but it will just have better specs, probably a better camera, but looks-wise, it's going to be mostly the same, including price. The iPhone 7S will be the same starting price as the iPhone 7, but Apple wants to provide that option for people to pay more because Apple is going to take everything they can get. They'll have that 8 that will come out alongside the 7S, and that will be a lot more because you're getting that OLED display, that IP68 water resistance, the better cameras, the lack of home button. You get all that in a greater picture, but of course, a lot more engineering, a lot more work went into that model. So they're now trusting that their fans are going to cover that expensive price point. I don't think they're wrong. I'm very confident the iPhone 8 will likely sell better or just as good as the iPhone 7 because people are so incredibly pumped for this one. I'm seeing iPhone 7s everywhere, and I still know a lot of people out there who are not buying it because they want to go straight to the 8 because that's gonna be the anniversary one, that's gonna be the best, but they're not adopting USB-C. Because there was this report that Apple talked about that there was these little accessory cables that people thought they were gonna make a new port, and then they said, no, we intend on keeping Lightning on the iPhones for a while. And that's when I went, oh gosh, Apple. It's hard to love you sometimes. Then of course the dying question, will I buy one? I can't, if you share this video enough times, probably, then I could afford it. If we hit 50,000 subs before it comes out, sure. But my financial situation is still very tight, so I can't guarantee that I can buy one, but a lot of it depends on the success of this channel. So it's up to you, which means you'll probably let me down, right? That's a no. Dang it. What do you think of the price jump on the iPhone 8 and other smartphones in general? Let me know in the comments below and I'll tell you all why you're wrong in Refried Friday. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.